to strengthen as it approaches the Middle Texas coast. Sunday and Sunday night situation overview. Beryl has continued to move to the northwest at around 13 miles per hour over the western Gulf waters this evening and will gradually turn more northward as it approaches the Middle Texas coast Sunday into Sunday night. Beryl is still forecast to strengthen to hurricane status before making landfall Monday morning. Guidance continues to be rather consistent, with Beryl on track to most likely make landfall somewhere between Corpus Christi Bay to Sargent, TX. Beryl is relatively compact in size, with tropical storm force winds currently extending up to 125 miles northeast from its center. Hurricane and storm surge warnings remain in effect along the islands and coastal portion of counties along the coastal bend from Baffin Bay to Sargent, TX, including Rufferio and Victoria counties. Tropical storm warnings are also in effect for the coastal plains, including inland Kleberg, inland New EAS, inland San Patricio, B, and Goliad counties. There are also several additional hazardous impacts across the region. The threats include winds sustained winds 60-80 miles per hour with gusts up to 100 miles per hour will be possible near the center of Beryl, mainly along the islands and coastal counties north of Port Aransas. Coastal flooding, significant storm surge with peak inundation up to 6 feet expected across Mesquite Bay northward and up to 5 feet along the Middle Texas coast from Baffin Bay to Mesquite Bay. Greatest threat for storm surge is from Sunday through Monday. Flash flooding, moderate to high threat of flash flooding Sunday into early next week. Rainfall amounts of 5-10 inches with isolated amounts up to 15 over the northern coastal bend and Victoria crossroads, 3-5 across the southern coastal bend, with lower amounts westward. Tornadoes, isolated to scattered tornadoes and waterspouts, mainly Sunday into Monday embedded within outer rain bands of Beryl. Greatest threat will be east of the center, mainly along the northern coastal bend and Victoria crossroads. Hazardous seas, wave heights 20-30 feet Sunday night through Monday. A storm surge watch remains in effect and a tropical storm warning remains in effect for the following: in Texas, Kleberg. A tropical storm warning remains in effect for the following locations: in Texas, B and Goliad. A storm surge warning remains in effect and a hurricane warning remains in effect for the following locations: in Texas, Aransas Islands, Aransas, Calhoun Islands, Calhoun, Coastal Calhoun, Coastal New EAS, Coastal Rufferio, Coastal San Patricio and New EAS Islands. A storm surge warning remains in effect and a tropical storm warning remains in effect for the following locations: in Texas, New EAS and San Patricio. A storm surge watch remains in effect and a tropical storm warning is in effect for the following: in Texas, Kleberg. A storm surge watch has been upgraded to a storm surge warning and a hurricane watch has been upgraded to a hurricane warning for the following locations: in Texas, Aransas Islands, Aransas, Calhoun Islands, Calhoun, Coastal Calhoun, Coastal New EAS, Coastal Rufferio, Coastal San Patricio and New EAS Islands. Hurricane warning remains in effect. What? Southeast winds 40 to 60 knots with gusts up to 80 knots and seas 25 to 30 feet. Where? All the bays and waterways as well we the Gulf waters from Baffin Bay to Port O'Connor out to 60 nautical miles. When? Tropical storm force winds possible from Sunday morning until Monday afternoon. Hurricane force winds possible from Sunday evening until Monday morning. Impacts. Extremely strong winds will cause hazardous seas which will likely capsize or damage vessels and severely reduce visibility. Mariners should remain in port, alter course, and slash or secure the vessel for extreme conditions. A storm surge watch remains in effect and a hurricane warning remains in effect for the following locations: in Texas, coastal Kleberg and Kleberg Islands. A hurricane warning remains in effect for the following locations: in Texas, Rufferio and Victoria. Beryl expected to strengthen as it approaches the Middle Texas coast. Sunday and Sunday night situation overview. Beryl has continued to move to the northwest at around 13 miles per hour